The debt limit should be entirely destroyed to stop an economic catastrophe.
Trump's statement is blowing up the internet. Why does he want to scrap the debt limit? Who is the U.S. even in debt to? How did the debt start? And can the U.S. pay it back? You can sound smart because it's really simple. Recently, the U.S. national debt went over $36 trillion. How did that happen? Through decades of overspending. The government needed to pay for tax cuts, wars, help during COVID, and more. But who exactly do they owe this debt to? About 79% is public debt, which means they borrowed from investors, other countries, and big companies. The 21% that's left is intragovernmental, which means it is money the U.S. owes its own government programs like Social Security. How did that happen? In 1790, America had just finished fighting the Revolutionary War. The new country was left with a lot of debt because war is expensive. Alexander Hamilton was America's first Treasury Secretary. He had an important job, dealing with all this debt. Hamilton decided that instead of trying to avoid paying, the U.S. should borrow money responsibly. He believed this would show other countries America could be trusted. Hamilton's plan worked. Countries around the world began trusting America, lending money when needed and helping the U.S. economy grow strong. Hamilton turned debt into something positive and helpful. Nowadays, the U.S. still borrows money. About 79% of the debt is owed to regular people. The other 21% is owed within the government itself. Fast forward to today, President Donald Trump called for the complete abolition of the debt ceiling.
But the majority of our conversation was about the debt ceiling. Trump told me he's not just keen to see it lifted, as we've all seen and covered so many times in the past, but he'd like to see it got rid of entirely.
He labeled it a ridiculous constraint on the economy. Is this because he knows the U.S. can't pay it all back? Given the current path we're on, it's unlikely. They could if they raise taxes, cut spending, and grow the GDP, but instead, the government handles the debt by borrowing more and by hoping the economy grows. Is it working?
Let's live in reality for a second. We're running $2 trillion deficits. If we follow the path of the House bill, we'll have close to, I think, $60 trillion worth of debt in 10 years.
The short answer: no. Trump's recent plan is making the national debt bigger, not smaller. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, says Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill will increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion.
Voicing concern with President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, already passed by the House, currently in the Senate, which the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says will add roughly $3 trillion to the national debt, including interest over the next decade.
If tax cuts in the bill stay permanent, it could actually add up to $5 trillion, including interest costs. The CBO also warns that about 11 million people might lose health insurance because of the bill's spending cuts. Big investors, often called bond vigilantes, are selling U.S. government bonds because they're worried about growing debt. Moody's, a major credit rating company, lowered the U.S. credit rating from AAA.
We have a news alert for you. Moody is lowering its credit rating on the United States debt one notch to AA from AAA due to increasing government debt and interest payments.
Basically, they are betting on the U.S. economy growing faster than interest they are borrowing it at. Trump's call to abolish it shows an acceptance of debt as an infinite loop of modern economic policy.